So I had to pull over really quick because the topic of love popped up in my mind again in so many different ways. And so I want to talk about how I don't know, I'll just let it flow how it came to me. But basically, whenever the expression of love is threatened for one person, that expression of love is threatened for anybody. And so for me, I love women, and for anybody that is like me, who is LGBTQIA, part of the alphabet, our expression of love has been threatened throughout history. It is threatened right now. And I was able to watch a short film, an independent short film, yesterday about the history of the LGBTQ community, and it was just one of many films. And in the film, it was just talking about the Stonewall history, and it included a little bit of Black and brown people, and just how the LGBT community kind of came about, and all these different things, right? And how we have always been a part of history. But more so beyond that, I don't think that sometimes people who have differing opinions about our expression of love understand why we may go so hard on it, right? It's because, like, when any expression of love is threatened or deemed as wrong, every expression of love can then be open to being deemed as wrong or quieted or whatever the case may be. And I think that that's something that we should start thinking about, right? Because even on a larger picture, when we think about our system as a whole, we think about healthcare, we think about WIC, we think about housing, we think about all these different programs that are being pulled back, changed, all these different things, right? And how for a lot of people had this belief that minority communities were the majority of people that were accessing these programs. And don't get me wrong, yeah, but don't realize how many white people were also accessing these programs. And so when you're taking away these programs, not only are minorities losing access, but also white people are losing access. And so and it goes back to when one group is being threatened, everybody is being threatened. And so, like, I believe we should start thinking as a community voice versus a singular voice, because no matter who you are and what you represent or whatever, everything that we do is it affects us all, regardless of who we love, what we do, across the board. Like, everything affects each and every one of us. I mean, we see it when we look at gas prices, we see it when we look at food, we see it when we look at all these different government programs. I mean, I see it when I go to the VA. Like, everything that we do and everything that we are it collectively affects us all. And so I think it's always so interesting when there is hatred against a group of people, because at the end of the day, you are hating your own self when just a different version of you. You know what I'm saying? And so, you don't have to like the difference, but respect it and understand that we are all going through the same experiences. We just may love differently, we just may do things in a different way, but at the end of the day, we are all experiencing the same things on different levels and in different ways. And so, yeah, I just wanted to really like put in that thought and share that thought. But yeah, namaste. Well, also too, I want to add this to what I was saying earlier about love and how we all experience the same thing of being threatened, is the fact that, like, some of us are able to, in different ways, we are all able to maneuver differently, right? And so in other ways, the people that we love, or in the case of how different things are being threatened, in different ways we're able to maneuver, right? And in ways that other people may not be able to maneuver. And so when I go back to the expression of love and the way that I express it, right, as a feminine presenting lesbian, or as a feminine presenting woman who loves women, right off the bat, you can't tell, right, unless I have rainbow or whatever the case may be, which is typically the universal sign, right? And so for the women that I typically attract, or whatever the case may be, or the women that are typical for, or the women that I typically tend to be with, who are more masculine presenting, they can't hide, or not even hide, but they don't blend in when it comes to how they express, because it's pretty obvious. And so it's the same way when you have interracial couples, or you have two men who love each other. That's not something that is able to blend in. And so so going back to how when love is threatened with one group or one person, it is threatened with all, as well as with anything within our society. When one thing is threatened for one group of people, that is threatened across the board, regardless. And so my hope is that we begin to think about how we look at things, and how we start to see how this is not an individual thing. We are all experiencing these collectively, and how we can show up for each other, because although, like I said earlier, we may express it differently or it shows up differently for each of us, we are all sharing a similar story nonetheless. And so it is a collective it is a collective thread that we are experiencing. And so I just wanted to add that piece really quickly. But yes, all right. Bye.